the 2024 Nissan Z. Guys, the more time that I spend with this car, the more I am starting to actually fall in love with what this thing is like to drive. I planned a really good route for us to take so we can do some hard pulls, test the cornering, just really get a feel for this car. Just before we do though, well, let me actually shut it back off again, and let's take a look under the hood and just talk about what is actually powering this thing. All right, you guys, so under here is the twin turbo V6 from the Infiniti Q60 Red Sport. This thing makes 400 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque, but it's not just the engine that makes this car feel so good to drive. It is really how light this is, how short this is. I mean, it's not super low to the ground, but it is pretty low compared to a lot of cars. And so this makes for a really sweet driving experience. And something about the twin turbo V6, guys, this has a very unique feeling to it. We'll talk more about that once we get driving. And also, how about this design? What do you guys think? There are some weird parts that I feel like it takes a while to get used to, such as you don't really have anything in the front except for a perfectly squared grille. Kind of strange. The headlights do look really nice. If I were to buy a Nissan Z, I would get it in a more vibrant color, because just due to the lack of vents and stuff that kind of make it look sporty, the paint job really helps with this. But as you move along to the side of the car and the back end angle, I mean, guys, this is where it starts to actually look really nice. You have the blacked out mirrors, you have a blacked out roof, this nice chrome trim running all the way down, the Z badge black and chrome as well. Sort of like a half hatchback type of design, kind of strange, and a lot of trunk space under there. Wheels are well, nothing too special, but definitely fits the car's styling. And you just get standard iron brakes. But guys, these things can perform pretty well. Again, we'll really test this car in a second. And then the back end, I'm starting to like this more now. You know, it's weird. It's like retro, but it's also modern. I'm not sure which one it is. It's both, I guess. But to me, the back end angle is just the peak. This is exactly how I would stare out at this car. If I were to put a lawn chair out, it'd be right here. This thing does look pretty good, guys. Z badge, Nissan, dual tip exhaust. And without further ado, let's hop in here. I really like these door handles as well. We'll talk more about this one once we're actually driving, but it's a pricey car, guys, and there's some areas such as the door panel where it's like, really, $50,000 and you just get like a super basic plastic and cloth door panel? Okay. But let's go ahead and start it up. And guys, right when you sit in here, first of all, I love the animation. I'm glad we get to see that twice. You know, from this view right here, it is very driver oriented. You have paddle shifters, the nice Z logo. You have 7 gauges in this view. Maybe a little bit more information than you kind of need, but at the same time, it is very cool with these 3 facing the drivers. So this does have a pretty special feeling to it. Not a lot of cars have those gauges like that, and so that makes me feel really good. And away we go. So you have your drive mode selector right down here, which unfortunately not a whole lot of customization options inside of the Nissan Z. You only have standard and sport. And heads up, guys, we are driving the sport version of the Nissan Z. So there are 3 trim levels. You have the sport, you have the performance, and then you have the Nismo. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, if I were to buy this car, I would get this one. Reason being is a huge problem with this car, and what makes so many people talk smack about it is the price tag that you have to pay to get this thing. It is very hefty, and the problem is, well, when you're paying $45,000, $50,000, there's a lot of options you can get instead of this car. And this thing has a price tag of around $48,000 new. They're all selling under MSRP now due to the fact that, yes, they were originally seriously overpriced and dealers could not get these off of the lot. And even now, with the discounts at $48,000, I am not so sure I would choose this car over, I don't know, let's say a slightly used, good condition C7 Corvette. A lot of cars you can look at in that price range. Now, to talk about what this car is like just cruising around, I mean, first of all, guys, a lot of power in the low RPM, so passing other cars is really easy, very satisfying to do. But this would be a really nice daily driver. I mean, it's powerful, as you'll see as soon as we really start to get on it. But really, if you just wanted to go to work 9 to 5, this would be an easy car to hop in the morning and a nice, relaxing car to drive home. Got some bumps in the road right here. And yet, zero complaints with how this thing feels. Now, if you do get the sport version, or sorry, the performance version of the Nissan Z, then the suspension has a more sporty tuning. And so it's gonna be a little bit rougher. And if you get the Nismo, well, not only are you paying $70,000 for that car, that I can't imagine getting that, guys. There's so many other better options for $70,000. That's why I would look at this one, because a used version of this, 35 grand, guys, this is a really, really good car for $35,000. I would get one, no joke. But new, yeah, these things, I'm not taking that depreciation hit new, and I'm not paying the price that they're asking for to pick this thing up. Maybe you will. No judgment here. Again, I'm here to give my thoughts on this car, show you what it's like to drive, but I'm just not gonna put that much money into this car new. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and do our first nice acceleration in this video here. So we're gonna use this D mode selector to pop it over into sport. Frankly, guys, I don't notice a huge difference between the two modes. If we pull this down, we got it in manual mode, and let's go to, let's do a second gear pull. And watch that speedometer, guys. This thing seriously can move. Yes, this is one of those cars where I really enjoy the feeling of how this thing pulls. You get nice turbo noise, but from an exhaust perspective, there's got to be some sort of upgrade done, because this thing just does not sound good out of the exhaust. Again, for the price range, there are so many other cars that would offer a much more exciting experience in terms of the sound you get while driving it. All right, let's test it in the corners here and see how it feels. That's what I mean, guys. This thing is short, it's pretty low to the ground, it's lightweight. That was a little scary, but that was not even close to what this car is capable of. And that's what I love. A car that you can push so hard where you're like, oh my gosh, is it gonna make it? Is it gonna make it? Perfectly fine. That's what this car was built for. And what's really neat about the G-force gauge in here is it will actually keep track of the peak G-forces you experience on each drive. And when you shut off the car and restart it, that will restart. But you can see we're pulling probably about 0.5 of a G to the left when we did that corner right there. You know, I think what makes me really love what this thing feels like to drive is it is just not like most other cars at all. The closest thing I can describe this car to in terms of comparing it to something else is a BMW M4, an F82 specifically. That slight turbo lag, the sort of tires that are a little bit too thin and it really can spin if you want it to. This car is a very similar feeling to the M4. It's just, then that's tough, right? Are you choosing this over an M4? That would be difficult to do. All right, light's about to turn green here. Let's see what the turning radius is like on this car. Again, it is short, it is easy to drive, it is very zippy, and yeah, you're gonna have no problems doing a U-turn in this. Look at how this thing pulls, guys. That is incredible. And guys, the tires in the back are only 245 in width and 245 in the front as well. But with all that power being sent to the rear, 3,500 pounds, 245 width tires, you get a pretty nice amount of spin in this thing. And I like it when I want to be scared and have fun, but at the same time, you also occasionally just want the grip, especially if you're, you know, doing a dig or doing a race with somebody, even rolling from 20 miles an hour. This thing will absolutely spin. All right, guys, we're gonna experience some more corners really quick. Let's see how this thing feels. Wow, that is nice. That is very nice. You know, again, there are a lot of downfalls with this car. I'm not over here staring at the door panel, but I am sitting in these cloth seats, and it's like, if I'm spending 45 to 50, guys, I want a cooler looking door panel. I want more than just this. I want something nicer than cloth seats. And if you step up to the performance version of this car, you do get leather seats. If you step up to the Nismo, you do get Recaros. So the materials improve, but it's too much money. But I absolutely love that, guys. This thing is so much fun to accelerate in, corner, and just whip it around. Like, again, that's what this car is built for. And a super, super quick shifting 9-speed automatic transmission as well. A manual, yes, that would make it a lot more fun. Not e-manual, guys. A manual transmission. People always make fun of me in the comments for that. But the automatic is still fun. It is still cool. But yes, a manual will always give you a more fun, engaging driving experience. And when you go to park your Nissan Z, you press this little P button. This is a very strange shifter, guys. That would take some getting used to. And again, a very plain sort of center console area here. But let's take one, oh, there we go. Let's take one last look at this car. Man, 35 grand, I am buying one. 45, 50, unfortunately not, and I am not spending 70 for a Nismo, guys. The Nismo gives you an extra 20 horsepower, an extra 36 pound-feet of torque, for a combined total of 420 horsepower and 386 pound-feet of torque. But 400 and 350 with a somewhat, you know, sporty suspension, I like it. I like it a lot. It just, if I'm talking $70,000, there's too many other options to consider. But let me know what you guys think about this car, and would you get one? And if you do own one, please comment below what your thoughts are of owning this car, and if you'd recommend it to other people. Appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon in the next video. Peace out.